Hello, in this video I would like to discuss the core components of Ansible. Each of these components we will discuss much more deeply in the latest video. First of the Ansible main components is Ansible Inventory. Ansible Inventory is just a list of hosts but stored in the file. It can be INI or YAML format. By default, Ansible is using inventory located at the Ansible host. Inventory can contain variables for the specific host, and hosts can be grouped in inventory file. As you can see here, we have two group of hosts, one called DB and one called its web server. And host group DB contain two hosts with database host 1 and database host 2, and web server contain two hosts with name Apache host 1 and Nginx host 2. Next core component is models. Models are tool for particular task in Ansible. Each model accepts parameters and return output in JSON format. And there are a lot of different models in Ansible, but if some functionality is missing, you can create model by yourself using Python language. And here is the example of execution model named yum. Name parameter is not required, but it's better to have this one. It's best practice and it helps you to identify which task currently in running, especially for the debugging purpose. And yum is the model name, and there are a few parameters like name, it's the name of package which should be installed, and state it describe what should be happen with package present. It means package should be installed. It can be also absent. In this case, Ansible will remove current package. Variables in Ansible, it's how we deal with difference between system. Uh, Variables name can contain letters, numbers, or underscore, but should always start with the letter. And variables can be grouped like by host or by playbook, and variables can be stored in dictionary or in list. And also there is a lot of predefined variables. This is the example of variables in Ansible, and database name is the variable name, and test is the value of the variable. And for different environment, you can override these variables. So test and prod will have different databases created with different users and with different passwords. Facts is a special type of Ansible variables. Each time when Ansible is executed on host, first task which Ansible is doing is gathering information about this host. In this example, it's just the small output of Ansible facts gathering. But facts gathering can be disabled if you need to do it. Playbooks. Playbooks are Ansible configuration, deployment, or orchestration language. Playbooks are expressed in YAML format, and each playbook is composed of one or more plays in a list. The goal of play is to map a group of hosts to some well-defined roles represented by things Ansible called task. You will see this in example in later video. Configuration file, it's a file which can override the default behavior of Ansible. Ansible is starting to looking for this file from the top. For example, at the beginning is looking for ansible.cfg located in current directory. If this file not exist, it started to look for default Ansible configuration file located at the Ansible CFG, and also path to configuration file can be stored in environment variables. Configuration file can override many default option in Ansible, but we will see this in latest video.